believe it or not, I dare to remain Catholic, but I'm a definite cafeteria variety because I think the church is wrong on a couple of big issues. Peace. But yes, remain Catholic. If you're a cafeteria, this is what I'm going to challenge you with, though. Okay. It's not enough for you to sit on the edge there with your doubt. It's not enough to do that. You are allowed to do that. You ain't got to agree with everything the Pope says. However, if you're going to disagree, you better understand and know why you don't agree. And if you have questions about faith and teachings of the church, dogma of the church, things that are just like really about what the foundation of faith is about, we have over 2,000 years of documented writings that go all the way back to the early church fathers. Get in there and read. There's no reason for you to remain in the dark and have questions that you don't go out of your way to find the answers to. And that is a challenge I want for every single one of you. Okay. There's so much amazing things out there. But, I told you guys that I was really struggling the last month, mentally, emotionally, spiritually in many ways. You guys know my dad died right the day before my birthday. And that was really hard for me. And then just a lot of things started happening that were overwhelming me to the point whereas if my faith wasn't strong, I would have fallen. Like I really probably would have given up. I would have deleted this channel. Y'all would have come back and this channel would not exist because some of y'all was getting on my nerves. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Okay. I was having like an existential crisis, but the only thing that kept me going was my faith. And I'll tell you what, a friend of mine had mentioned about Dark Night of the Soul, and they weren't even talking about like reading it themselves. They were talking about their own experience and how they were that in the past. And I remember reading this years and years and years ago, like back in high school, like the entire poem itself, right? But I said to myself, I need to go back and really fully analyze that. And I'm so glad I did. I started reading it just the other day, and it's a part of my prayer practice. And this is by St. John of the Cross, right? This way of just getting yourself out of desolation and back into consolation and back into your spiritual life and acknowledging that there is going to be dark nights of the soul. What's beautiful about it is that it acknowledges that it's the perfect point. The dark night of the soul is the perfect point for those of us who are on fire for God. And you think you got it all figured out. And then it's the last boom, that last challenge. It says, don't you get too comfortable, honey, because you ain't there yet. And it's when you start to really go into that darkness and work your way through that you come out even more faithful than before. It's mind blowing. You got to check it out. And then the other thing that, the St. Ignatius 14 rules for the discernment of spirits, like that has been transformative for me, right? Some of you mentioned works by St. Teresa of Avila, her works, the interior castle. But this just goes to say, Terry, that you are allowed to doubt, that you are allowed to question, you're allowed to be your cafeteria, but don't you stay on that lunch line, honey, eating that lunch meat, eating that cafeteria food that does nothing but fatten you up. It don't do nothing for you spiritually. Okay. So don't sit on the edge there. So Ahmad says about desolation. I want to bring that up. I experienced spiritual desolation or dark night of the soul quite a bit. Amen. Amen. It's a part of the process. You're never going to be in a perfect state all the time because even like our greatest saints suffered. And they suffered in different ways. So it just becomes like, if they can get through this and become saints in heaven, what can you do yourself to become a saint too? Right?